Okay guys, for KUSHH strength, we're going to do 6 integrated moves, and Jessica's going to demonstrate them while I talk you through them. First thing you're going to do is a great stretching squat on the ground. You're going to start with your bar or your broomstick straight up. And remember, if you're using a bar, use a very light bar, okay? You're going to bend over, hip hinge all the way down to the ground or as far as you can. Sit into a squat position, lift the bar back up past your ears, and stand back up. Now Jessica's going to keep doing those, and you do those with her. This is a great exercise for loosening up the back, engaging the core, and using the shoulders the way they should move as they pull and reach and roll above shoulder level. Good. And this is a great warm-up before you start your squat series as well. Making sure, of course, that you're only bending as far as you can, and as you lift that bar, that use the power of your strength in your back to pull it back by your ears before you come up. So let's get one more of those, and then I'm going to have you stand up on your KUSHH and do some squats and feel the imbalance of the surface of the squat. All right, great. Thanks, Jessica. Now, I want you to stand up on your platform, and you can see here as she's standing on the top of the KUSHH that you could do your strength training with your KUSHH set up just the platform on the ground, or you can add 1, 2, 3, or even 4 blocks, depending on the kind of strength training move you're going to do. All right, so Jessica's just going to do some basic squats. So let's go, Jessica. Take it down and up. And as she gets down, she's going to lift that bar a little further in front of her each time. And that bar will help to counterbalance. Now remember, you don't have to use a bar here. And again, let me emphasize, this is not a heavy bar. It's a very light bar. If you use a heavy bar, it's going to be too hard on your lower back, and it's going to pull you forward. But right now, you can feel that great play in the feet, that great imbalance in the feet. Good, Jessica. And one more time. Nice job. Now she's going to add something. What she's going to do is she's going to squat down, and she's going to kayak that bar to one side, and then she's going to unway the trail leg, bring it back, and come back up. Watch again. Before you try this, she's going to unway. She's going to leave that one foot planted securely on top and come back up. All right, so just execute with her here, and kayak, and back, and up. Now also remember, as you're kayaking and turning the bar to one side, if you want to add a little bit more play, you can actually dig in like a gondola. So when you come down, you can kind of dig that bar in. Good, and come on back and bring it back up. So as you get down into these squat maneuvers, you feel the feet managing the instability of the KUSHH top. Let's get a couple more. Take it down and kayak, and see as she gets a little bit more confident on that platform, she actually unways the back leg. Now you want to make sure that you keep that foot planted. Let's do just 2 more, Jessica, to finish up. You want to make sure that you keep the weighted leg planted and that knee as stable as possible as you go through the movement. And we're going to have one more. There it is. And back and up. Good job, Jessica. All right, I'm going to take her bar from her, and we're going to now put 1 block under the KUSHH for the next exercise. We're going to do decline push-ups. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1 block, and we're going to put it under each side of the KUSHH step. Okay? We use our universal blocks here. Okay? Now, we're going to start with a decline push-up. We're actually going to go down to the ground. She's checking that for stability. And what she's going to do is kneel with her quadriceps on top of the platform, hands on the floor, and she's going to stretch her legs back and just check her position. Then she's going to lay her quadriceps down. Her hip bones are going to be off, and her belly button is going to be off. Your hands are wider than you think, because on this push-up, you'll be surprised, all right? So you're going to come down in a decline push-up, tight torso, and as you push back up, pull the belly button in. Good. Let's do 3 more. So now this is just establishing range of motion and width of arms here. And remember, a good push-up is just as much about the chest as it is about the core, and vice versa. And hold right there, Jessica. Now push back into a child's pose. So she can walk right back there and stretch that out. And then the second version of this, guys, is to do a decline push-up with what we call a hip opener. So she's going to place her hands the same distance apart, and as you come down into the push-up, when you come back up, you're going to roll back and open one leg up. Right there. Good. And then you're going to come back, come down into the push-up, turn and open that leg. Now, if you're very flexible like Jessica, you can open and actually touch the back leg almost to the ground. Depends on the flexibility, the rotary flexibility of that spine. As you can see here that she can go pretty far back. And then one more, Jessica. Good. Now she's going to push back into that child's pose, and we're going to go one step further. So she's going to stretch it back out. Now the third version of this, which is the most advanced version, is she's going to go down and she's going to push back up and she's going to let go with the trail hand and go into a side posture. So she's going to go down and up, open the hips, open one arm, and stretch back down. And as you're coming down, you can either stop or you can go right into the depression, which she's doing. When she's coming down, she's going right into that depression. So the core is having to work to stabilize, but it's also a great rotary exercise as she's switching back and forth. Let's get two more, Jessica. That's it. Good. And one more. And the KUSHH surface allows you to do this. It allows you to roll back and forth, and then into a child's pose and a stretch back. That's a great push-up exercise. It's integrated with hip rotation, external hip rotation, and a reach. The next one is kneeling hip extension. She's going to kneel at one side of the platform, and I'm going to give her her weights here, okay? And just put them here for now. What she's going to do is a kneeling hip extension. Now, you can really only do this on several surfaces, but the KUSHH surface is probably one of the very few that you can do this on. So what I'm going to have her do first is just put her hands behind her back. Now remember that you can do this with or without weights, but I have her do it without weights first. And all she's going to do is touch her forehead down to the KUSHH mat and back up. Okay? Now as you're pushing back, remember to sit back on your feet as much as you can. And when you come down, it's not so much about the head as it's about the torso. Pull the belly in, let the head rest just gently if you need to, and then back up. Good. Now you could do this with weights behind your back. It actually makes it a little bit easier. But now I'm going to ask Jessica to do something a little bit harder. She's going to start with the weights behind her back, and as she comes out, as she comes up, she's going to come out to the side. Take a look. All right, so she's going to come down, and as she comes up, arms go out to the side. Good. There you go. And you can do it either way. You can do it with the arms going out as you come up or arms coming out as you go down. So either way is tough because you're adding resistance. That's it. Good job. Now, if she wants to take it one step further, she's going to go into an arm arc. She's going to bring both weights over her head, all the way up. Good, and back down. Now, remember as you're doing this to keep your core tight, and as you lift up, push through the glutes and the back of the legs, because you should be feeling this under the bottom of the glutes, top of the hamstrings. Good, and there's a little tiny arch at the top, and that's perfectly fine as long as you don't initiate the movement with that arch. And then she's going to come down, let her weights go down to the ground when she's finished, and then she can do a child's pose again and rest it. All right, super. We're going on now to single leg hip extension. This is a great one. She's going to stand at one end of her platform, and let me show you what this one looks like. You're going to put one foot in front of the platform, and you're going to take one leg behind the KUSHH platform right there. Now, if you needed it higher, you could always move it. But in this case, what you're going to do is just hook your foot on the back of the platform so it helps to stabilize you as you bend over. Now, just in the beginning of this move, just bend, don't do anything with the arms, just hold the weights and go down and up. Very important to keep a neutral spine here and to keep a straight, stable leg. So the leg that's on the ground is always straight, and you're coming down each time. That leg that's up on the platform is buried into the KUSHH and it's holding tight. You can actually resist against the back of the KUSHH and cause some resistance if you want to. Okay? Now what she's going to do is just stay there, and she's just going to do 4 quarter dip lunge. So she's going to just drop, staying tall, she's just going to drop the back leg down and back up. And you want to maintain a good alignment with that front knee. Keep your weight back. Good. A couple more like that, Jessica. And then she's going to eventually put these together. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend over for fly, and then you're going to come up for 2 lunges. All right? So you're going to bend over, so it's 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to fly, release, and come up. 4, 3, 2. Then 2 lunges. Down and down. 2 more. Take it out and down. And come back up and lunge for 2. Down and down. Now bend over. Bend. Now she's going to add something to this. She's going to fly, and when she comes back up, she's going to add a bicep curl to the 2 lunges right here. Squat. Good. Nice. and bend, 4. Good. Fly, release, and up, and then bicep curl on the lunges. Can you do one more for me, Jessica? Let's go. Take it down. Nice neutral spine, Jessica. Arms out for the fly, release, and come up, and all the while you're trying to control the balance and the proprioception. Good job, Jessica. And bring both feet down. What I like to do is just wiggle them out, okay? And now she's going to come down to this side, and she's going to do the same thing with the other leg. And of course, if you're doing something to one leg, you should do it with both legs. So one foot is back again, one leg is out, and she's going to go right into it this time, as you can as well. Nice neutral spine. Going to do one fly, and then as you come up, bicep curl into the lunges. And remember, you're dropping that back shin down, and you can touch the top of the KUSHH because it is one of those things where it's a nice soft surface and you don't have to worry about shinning or skinning up your shin. Good. And once again, nice neutral spine. That stable leg is pretty straight, okay? And as you're doing this motion, just make sure that you keep those hips tucked under, especially on this move. As you go up and down into the movement, that neutral spine is really important. But then as you go into the lunge or the quarter dip, you keep those nice tucked positions. Thank you, Jessica. Good. All right, now we're going to put the KUSHH up for the last exercise because this is a really neat movement. So we're going to take 2 more blocks for side lying plank. I'll just do this quickly. And we come back down. All right, side lying plank is really nice. She's going to take one weight in her right hand. She's going to lie down sideways on the KUSHH. She's actually going to put one hand on the floor. So she's going to put a rib cage on top of the KUSHH mat and the hands on the floor. She's going to bend her bottom leg and keep her top leg straight. She's going to bring the weight out in front of her, and she's just going to lift her leg first. So she's going to lift the top leg, bring it down, and then she's going to do a side fly up and back. Good. So she's going to lift the top leg, bring it down, side fly, and back. Now you see what she's doing with her legs here. She's lifting that top leg, and when she comes down to do the side fly, she takes that bottom leg to the front and extends it. Side and down and scissor. Good. We have 2 more. Up and down and scissor. Good. Now that arm on the floor is just really lying down there with not much pressure on it. Good, Jessica. Now she's going to flip to the other side and do this again. And you can do this for as many sets as you want, 2 to 3 reps. Depends on how you feel and how your muscles react to the exercise. But once again, she's lifting the top leg, bringing it down, and then she's going to do the fly and a scissor at the same time. The really nice exercise here is that you're able to extend the legs in different angles and different ranges of motion and have the cushion below you. All right? Good. And again. Good. Let's get 2 more. 2 more. This is great for the shoulder, great for the wrapping muscles of the shoulder. Sideline flies are really good, and we don't do a whole lot of those. Nice job, Jessica. All right. We're going to lose those weights. You'll retrieve the weights, Jessica. I'm going to 2 more blocks under the KUSHH. And what we're going to do here is we're going to finish with a neat integrated exercise called a roll-up, stand-up, sit-down. Checking it. She's going to sit at one end. This is called a roll-up, stand-up, sit-down. Now what she's going to do is she's going to roll back. Watch her one time. She's going to roll back into a lying position, kick her legs, then she's going to stand up, bend over, and give me 3 tricep extensions behind. Good. And this movement is done with a little bit of momentum. It's kind of a kick. And you can roll back with your legs a little higher or not quite so high when you roll back. And you'll find that it's a little bit harder if you use less momentum to do the exercise. But the nice part about this is you can use the top of the KUSHH to roll back on. It's going to depress and feel comfortable in your body when you do that. Good. And last one right here. Nice job. So we did a lot of nice reps for you today, and I hope you got those great integrated movements into your program. Now remember, you can repeat this workout, go to the top and do it again, and go to the top and do it one more time. But remember to do the warm-up and the slow stretch at the end. All right, if you're moving on Move on now. If you're not, do the slow stretch. Otherwise, stay tuned.